I can honestly say it is the majority of it's centered around it's centered around Israel and the Jewish people. I know AI is going on. We know there's wars and rumors of wars, but it is just really it's very it honestly it's become very challenging lately.
Oh,
But this is what I must do.
shalom, everybody. This is Olivier with Shalom and Messiah for another episode of our podcast. And I am looking forward to today because today we have trouble in the studio. When you put my guest and I together, we never know where it's going to end, but it's always good. It's always good. So before we get started, and I'll introduce him in a second. I wanted to remind you that we have a new Telegram channel, Shalom and Messiah updates on Telegram. So make sure that you connect with us that way. You can also subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't done that already, and follow us and get a lot more information on our website, shalominmessiah.com. You can also support our ministry through the website, and we appreciate your support. Many of you have joined us on this adventure to educate the body of Messiah about the end times and how to fight anti-Semitism, how to support Israel, and it has been a blessing. So we thank you for those of you who have joined us, and we thank in advance those who will join us. And let me introduce my good friend, and almost same birth date by 2 days. It's getting old. We're saying this every time. Pastor Tom Hughes. Tom, good to see you.
Olivier, great to see you. Always good to see you. And yes, everybody, Olivier is 2 days older than me. I'm so happy about that.
I deserve that because I started it. Yeah,
Yes,
I know.
you did.
Now, here's something else that people probably don't care about, but did not know, is that you're in California, I'm in Texas, and you and I got called on jury duty on the same day.
We did. I forgot about it. That was just like a week or two ago. The exact same day. You got let go right away, right?
I was in at 7:30 for an 8 o'clock appointment, and I was in my car at 10:15.
That worked out better than me. So I had a 7:30 appointment. And anyways, it didn't even start until like 9:30. I got called with the first set of people for testing you to be. I had to sit there all day long, but I got let go at the end of the day, so I was happy.
Yeah.
Boy, I mean, I was disappointed. I was glad I got to serve my jury duty service.
Well, me too, especially for me as a legal immigrant from France, came in 1985 and became an American citizen a few years after that. It was just like an honor for me to actually be selected and be able to contribute, even though, and I got a letter from the judge, I don't know if that happens in California, 2 days later saying, thank you, even though we did not select you, you played your part and you came to serve and we appreciate you. I'm going like, oh, okay. And it was signed by hand. It was not even a form letter. It was like, yeah, that's Texas for you.
I didn't get one of those. All I got was kicked out the door. Get out of here, you filthy animal. See you again next year, hot shot.
And it's California, so they probably sent you a bill.
It was, yeah, I should probably expect that.
Right. Some tax for not being selected.
Some
or
tax
something.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, Tom. We humor is important in what we do, really, because you and I always kind of joke a little bit here, a little bit there, but I think it's becoming more important to have a little bit of comic relief, because I got to tell you, I wake up every day now and honestly, I'm tired. I'm tired of what I'm faced with. Every day I look at the news. Every day, it's not even like one here and then one tomorrow, one there. It's multiple things every day. I absolutely cannot keep up. And sometimes you're gonna have to talk me off the ledge. Sometimes I just want to okay, I'm done. I want to do something else. I want to teach the Bible. I want to encourage people, help them read their Bible and draw closer to Messiah, because it's so draining, and I never thought I would get to that place. And I'm not. It's not physical work. It's just like I look at the stuff. I'm going like, I can't take this anymore. How do you? I mean, I don't. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm glad you said that. So apparently we have three things in common, not just our birthday and jury duty, but those exact thoughts have plagued me lately. And I even said to my wife, Jackie, I said, probably about 4 or 5 days ago, I said, if I'm feeling this way, imagine if you're Jewish. And a lot of it has to do with because of what we are talking about. Listen, Israel is front and center. The Jews are front and center. I said just a couple of days ago, I said, my Jewish friends have said never again. Friends, we have passed never again.
Oh.
It is happening again. And it's just nonstop. You know, I have my new book out on Israel to help people understand the Bible and what God actually says. And I look at that, and Olivier, I can honestly say the spiritual attack has gotten to the point where it's almost debilitating. And I've gone to the same place as you. You know, I served as a senior pastor for 20 years. I was a pastor under Greg Laurie prior to that. And I've taught the Bible on Sundays, and it was just over the last week I said the exact same thing you did. I wish I could just go and just do Sundays and just teach the Bible, just going through the Bible verse by verse like I do anyways.
Right.
But then God reminded me, I've given you this calling, and you have to be faithful to it. And it's that. And I can honestly say it is the majority of it centered around Israel and the Jewish people. I know AI is going on. We know there's wars and rumors of wars, but it is just really, it's very, it honestly has become very challenging lately. But this is what I must do.
And I live in Texas, so we don't really. It's not as bad locally. Luckily and locally, it's not as bad. But I again, it's so I'm not alone, and I know I'm not alone because you get the same feeling, and I'm sure Brendan gets very frustrated as well, and a few others. I mean, I was doing a recording with James just recently, James Cadiz, and with him it's different. You start getting him on that topic, and he gets very angry, and he shows it. So we had to do this offline, but but the frustration, the I guess the righteous anger that we could have this righteous anger about what's going on, but I get this recurring feeling of what can I do? I'm done, but I can't be done because this is what God gave me 25 years ago to do. Basically not in an audible voice, but He put on my plate. He said, Olivier, you're going to tell an uneducated Christian church about my people, about anti-Semitism, and you're going to do it for as long as you do it. And so He has not told me to stop. He has not called me home. I got to keep doing it, but it's becoming very hard. It's becoming very hard. So I figured that it's almost like a commercial because it's becoming very hard. Maybe we should take a break and have a drink. So I'd like to offer you a drink.
Look at that! What is that? I mean, I can see what the word says. Palestine.
It's
Well,
Palestine.
I mean, what is it? Like a soda, or what is it?
Here's a story. This is Palestine Cola. You can see the little design with the keffiyeh on the bottom here. Okay, this is produced. Okay, here is the irony. It is produced in Poland. Of all the places you would think would really think hard about not supporting anything that would lean towards killing Jews. Poland would be like on top of the list. Like, yeah, we don't want to get involved with that. So it is produced in Poland, but it is, let me write it properly, distributed, produced in Poland, physically produced in Poland, but the website and the business, the office is in Sweden. The organization is in Sweden. The bottles, and there's about 6 or 7 flavors, are produced in Poland and distributed in Virginia, in Fairfax, Virginia, in the U.S. Palestine Cola, and
Wow.
it's not just a name. You go on their website at palestinedrinks.com, and they will tell you that with every can you purchase, you support the Palestinian cause.
Wow. Oh my. So
So
you're supporting these lies that are
that's right.
everywhere.
So I'm looking at this, and this is going to be part of my new message that I'm doing. I'll probably speak and show this at the conference in Texas that is coming on when is it, September 19th?
September 19 and 20 Friday night Shabbat dinner, and
Should we
all day
serve should we
Saturday.
serve those drinks at the Shabbat
Oh
dinner?
my! By the way, I don't know if you know this, but Eric Stackelbeck's going to be at the Shabbat dinner. I think everybody is. The only one I haven't confirmed yet at the dinner is Dr. Andy Woods. So
Okay.
but everybody else is confirmed they're going to be there. Even Pete Garcia. So it's going to be an absolutely terrific time.
That's going to be great. And have people, I hope people, is it full already?
Um, no, it's not full yet.
Okay.
It's not a long ways from being full, and being that it's still over a month and a half away, almost 2 months away. I would encourage anybody, if they're going to go, they really should sign up soon because it's almost full. The whole thing is, including the Shabbat dinner, and the Shabbat dinner is going to be cool. It's like a meet and greet because the speakers are going to be at it, which is
Right.
totally
Yeah.
cool.
No, it's going to be great. We've done that with Andy at his conference in Sugarland. We have a Shabbat dinner, and every table is like this speaker table, that speaker, so people get to spend the evening with their favorite speaker, or if they couldn't get their favorite speaker, they'll probably sit at my table.
My table.
But that's okay. We're all going to eat the same food. It's all going to be good. And I promise I will not bring any of those for drinks.
Thank you.
But I'll be I'm looking at this as, I'm thinking about BDS, and I'm thinking about the next level in going beyond BDS. Now, it's not enough now that people would say, I don't want to support Israel. Now people will they're going to start getting opportunities to support Palestinian or Palestinian promotion through products like this. This is not coming from the Middle East. This is made, again, produced in Poland, designed and promoted in Sweden, produced in Poland, but this is made to it's another slap in the face of Israel, and it's another way for people to say, not only am I going to follow BDS, the boycott, divestment, and sanction against Israel, but I'm now going to take it one step further. I'm going to take my money away, and I'm going to purchase things that will promote the Palestinian cause, which really I would rather call the Palestinian false narrative, as you well know, and it's it's promoting what's happening right now in the Middle East.
Yeah, I look at it, Olivier, and this is why it's so important for us to be able to do these things. I would encourage anybody out there, if you have a podcast, and use it to. Israel's in a propaganda war. Israel is losing, and the Jews are losing the propaganda war. And all we have to do is just put it into perspective. If you have 2 billion Muslims on the planet, now we have people on the right in America. Obviously, we can tell what's going on with Europe. You have this coming out of Poland. You have the majority of people alone against 16 million Jews that are in the world. And even at that, some of the Jews are against the Jews. There's a handful of that too. And so you look at it, there's just the propaganda war is an impossible win right now. And Israel is losing it, except God is with us. And God is the one who gives the victory. So therefore, I would encourage anybody out there right now, you have a voice, use it, and understand the truth of what the Bible really does say. 93% of Christianity never lived in a time when Israel was a nation. It is a very unique time that we are alive right now. It is a time where everything is coming together. So when you look back over the years of history, they didn't have what we have. This is the major sign why we can know that things are culminating, and we can tell what, and listen, I'm going to be on God's side in this issue right now with Israel, and this is definitely dividing the church in a way that is almost hard to even fathom.
It is. And you know what I like about what you just said, Tom, is that uh, I've heard it both ways, and I think you've got the right perspective. I'm going to be on God's side. A lot of people say, well, God is on our side. It doesn't matter. I want to be on God's side. And there's a difference when you say I want to be on God's side or God is on our side. And so I agree with you. I want to be on God's side. I want to be in the center of His will. And listen, this is the topic of not my upcoming book, which is coming in October, on the anti-Semitism in the end times, which, by the way, friends, is ready right now, pre-order on Amazon. So please consider getting it. You'll get a lot of information you won't get anywhere else. But the next book coming after that, Tom, and I don't think I even told you about that. I am writing a book that the main thrust of the book, the overarching theme of the book is Israel of the Bible versus modern Israel, and everything that comes out of both sides. And because right now and let's talk about that for a second. So let me ask you this. So I'm going to put you on the spot. Is the Israel of the Bible the same as Israel of today, and does it matter?
Well, actually, I'm going to answer. That's one of the questions I'm going to answer this Sunday night, by the way, because I'm dealing with this and so many other things. But I say yes because I have my reasons for it. Okay, it's not the same. Okay, in the sense of, okay, Abraham lived, 4,000 years ago? All right, David's 3,000 years ago. Okay, so David's not here. Solomon's not here. I get all that. I get that Rome destroyed Israel in 70 AD and that Hadrian comes along. However, according to God, it's the same people that He brings back into the land a second time. Isaiah chapter 11, He says, I will draw you back. And in the book of Amos, God says, once you're back in, you will never be uprooted again. So when I look at God's recognition and all of the promises, all of the prophecies, I will bring you back. Ezekiel chapter 36, I'll bring you back because my name is on the covenant. Not because you're perfect. In fact, you guys messed up. But my name's on the covenant. I'm going to bring you back into the land.
So who is he going to bring back if they're not the Jews of the Bible?
Well, yeah, exactly. This is one of the arguments we saw online in a podcast recently, and the people even the people that were trying to defend Israel couldn't even answer the question. In Deuteronomy chapter 4, God says, hey, although you're going to go through tribulation, I will bring you back into the land during that time, and I will turn your hearts towards me. So we see this repeatedly. In fact, my book deals with this in the different chapters too, but it's recognizing, I look at this and go, well, if it's not the Jews that were the Jews of the Bible, then who are these people? And that is the lie that is out there right now. These aren't really Jews. Well, if they aren't really Jews, tell the 2 billion Muslims are trying to eliminate them. They think they're Jews.
That's right.
I'll tell you something else that's kind of weird. This is just logic. Okay, so we saw these youth that were kicked off the plane, the French Jews, right?
In Spain, out of Spain,
in Spain, kicked off the plane in Spain. Okay, they're kicked off the plane. The other Jews that were on a cruise ship were not allowed to disembark in Greece because of the protesters. Why were they kicked off the plane, and why were they not allowed to disembark from the boat? Because they were Jews. Yet they'll say, well, those aren't really Jews. Yet they're of the same people that have been migrating over to Israel. So you're going, well, wait a minute. I just thought you said those people aren't Jews that are over there, but it's the same Jews that are there.
You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, their logic makes absolutely no sense.
There's no
and
logic.
Then they say, well, you're not allowed to live here because you're Jews. Well, you're not allowed to live there because you're not Jews. You're like, well, what is it?
It's damn if you do, damn if you don't.
It is.
You're right, and it's so. Well, the reason why people say the Israel of today is not the Israel of the Bible. In a sense, we have to agree with that. the modern Israel is not identical to the Israel
Oh,
of the Bible. I mean, we're not looking at
yeah.
a theocracy. We're not looking at it's a different kind of form of government. But the people making Israel are the Jews that are descendants from the Judean Jews.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's what so when I think of the nation of Israel, I'm thinking of what is the word nation? It's to the people. If you want to take it to that point also, I would say, okay, well, Israel doesn't even have the geographical boundaries that they had in the Bible either.
Or
They
that they're going to have in the millennial kingdom.
or that they're going to have in the millennial kingdom. So their borders were larger. Even then, when we look right now, when you look at the different areas that the 12 tribes of Jacob encompassed and had, including land in modern day Jordan. So yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to take that argument, well, let's argue the whole thing then. So Israel right now is being shortchanged, although the people are still Jews. In fact, the people, not only are they still Jews, wherever they were scattered throughout the whole world, you look at them, they've kept Shabbat. You still have Shabbat. You still have Passover. You still have the feast days. It's an amazing thing. When people are found,
including in the camps in some cases, if they could.
Absolutely. You think, well, this doesn't even make any sense unless God has been doing something within them since 70 AD when they were scattered.
That's right. I mean, God has been preserving our people, and so you're going to be talking about that in your upcoming mini conference in Temecula, and this will be posting before, so you can mention it. When is it going to be?
It's going to be this Sunday night, August 3, 5 p.m. We'll be myself and David Tell. I'm going to be dealing with the Rothschilds Protocol, the Elders of Zion, the passage that so many people misquote, the synagogue of Satan. Those aren't really Jews, totally taking biblical things out of context and just putting all Jews into a particular category. So I want to be able to answer these things. Where do these things really come from? What's it with Elders of Zion? What's with the Rothschilds? Why are they blamed? Did they really start the nation of Israel? And just go right on down this to help define things. But I have several different questions that accusations I'm going to be bringing up and dealing with. And, the truth needs to be out there.
Absolutely. And you know what? You have learned well, Grasshopper. You used to invite me to speak on those topics, and now you do it on your own. So I feel like, the Kung Fu TV show, you have learned well,
Oh, Grasshopper, you're free to go now on your own. I don't have the burned tattoos on my hands.
That's right. But no, but I really appreciate that you would do. I don't see. You see a few weirdos on YouTube that will do things like this, but it's usually to prove that the Jews are descendants of Ashkenazi. The Ashkenazi Jews are descendants of the Khazars, or the protocols were the minutes of the first Zionist Congress in Switzerland in 1896. But you don't see the truth come out. And so I'm really, really, really excited that you would spend time to do such a mini conference, and I'll be praying for that. That's great.
Thank you.
Now, so the biblical Israel versus modern Israel, we can talk more about that. But I also wanted to talk about something that's really bothering me. A lot bothers me, but and I'm writing an article right now on it, the famine, the starvation in Gaza, and so what's mind-boggling is that how many people and countries and governments and personalities and politicians are actually buying the false pictures and the false reports about this starvation and this famine. What do you make of this?
It's, their father is the devil. He's the father of lies. Piers Morgan is promoting this. Piers Morgan, come on. So I mean, you watch it. This isn't hard to figure out. NBC News actually admitted, "Hey, wait a minute, this is a problem. The UN has actually been holding back food. NBC News, they totally lean left. They're anti-Israel. And you look at this, you go, but the problem is they know that they can put the lie out there. I look at the UN, this is my own opinion, and you can tell me you don't believe it. It was fine to distance yourself from it. I look at things now, personally, I think the UN is the largest terror organization in the world. That's my own opinion, but I look at certain things that the UN is involved in, and it's appalling. But nevertheless, when you look at this whole thing with the food, this is what people who are evil know. They know, or anybody knows, if you say something, even if it's a lie, once it's out there, people will have that in their head. And if they want to believe that lie, they will take it and they will run with it and they'll put it everywhere. So we have social medias everywhere. We already know that the news media, by and large, the mainstream media leans anti-Israel. And then you start looking at the funding of so much. You have Al Jazeera, you have Qatar funds much, Iran. You start looking at the funding that is out there. So these things fund mainstream media. And then you take someone like George Soros, who is willing to make money off of Jews going into the Holocaust during the time of Nazi Germany. What makes us think that he still wouldn't be willing to sell out the Jews and fund mainstream media today? Because he's shown his track record. So we look at that. Here, I'll give you an illustration. And this is something I knew. And I'm not, I'm not Albert Einstein. I'm not a genius. But I was an expert witness on something several years ago. It was real estate related back. This probably goes back 35 years, right?
Oh wow.
When I was in the title end, the legal end of this. So I was called as an expert witness on something, on a project I was working on. There was a full-on jury there, and it was for property. It was a massive amount of property in Orange County, California. And so I was asked a question by the attorney that's, trying to trip me up, right? And I knew because you already received the instructions from the judge, you can't do this, you can't do that. The attorney says this, attorney says that. I had already had one objection, and so I had to keep my mouth shut. And then they asked something else, and I said to myself, well, wait a minute, I know what the truth is because I'm the one who worked on it, but they wouldn't let me say it. So you know what I did? I looked straight at the jury, and I said exactly what the truth was, and I immediately got this, wait a minute, whatever it is, the attorney said to shut me down. And
or strike it from the record and do not take it in consideration. But they heard it. They heard it.
They heard it, and I knew they heard it, and I knew what the truth was. So that's why I said it, because I knew what the truth was. I know once it goes in your head, you're going to get it. What these people know, they know once it goes in your head, they put the lies out there. They even knowingly put in lies, knowing it's going to travel all the way around the world and then retract it a day later. They don't care because the lies there is so much overwhelming evidence right now. We all have it. It's not AI evidence.
No.
We all have it. The overwhelming evidence that the food has been supplied to Gaza, millions and millions and millions.
There are pallets rotting right now.
They're rotting because they've been there so long. I even have a new video just from this morning of some of it that was going to be distributed that Hamas says, no, it's not going to happen. So the whole thing is lies. And then the issue of the starving children in Gaza. Wait a minute. Now we're finding out one of the kids that was in one of the pictures that was starving was from
Yemen.
Turkey in 2017.
Another one
from Yemen. Another one had cystic fibrosis that was taken to an Israeli hospital in order to be healed, but yet they use that person as Israel is starving them. But the lies are absolutely awful, and I will do what I can to combat this stuff. Listen, in my mind, Olivier, you've been a great leader in this cause and a great mentor. So I go back to, we met probably 10 years ago at a conference.
Yeah.
And looking at some of the things that you have said about going on in Nazi Germany and how the church stayed silent. And I've had a good 10 years to think about some of your words that you've shared. And I'm not going to be one of those people that stay silent. I can see what's happening. I know what God has done. I know God's covenant with his people. And there is no way I'm going to be on the wrong side of it. I'm going to be on God's side. And we may not be vindicated in this life, but we will be vindicated when Jesus comes back. And we will be able to
Absolutely.
stand up and say, thank you, Lord, that we were faithful to the calling that you've given us.
And you know what? I mean, I think I mentioned that in one of the presentation that I did at one of your conference. That might have been the last one we did in Temecula. That I did with you in Temecula. Was it last September? I think it was.
I think it was November.
Yeah.
It was a few days before the election.
Okay. And I had mentioned to people, and it goes along the line of what you just said, which really blesses my heart. The people who hid Anne Frank were breaking the law.
Mm-hmm.
The people who gave her away were following the law.
That's a great point.
So, we as Christians are coming to a place where, and again, I'm not encouraging people to do anything that would be against the law, if at all possible, but we are coming to a time for Christians where we're going to have to make some really hard decisions on what to do. And when it comes to Israel and the Jewish people, and I know you, Tom. I know your heart, and I've known your heart for, I think, pretty much soon after we met. I realized this guy is loves my people, and that you don't like me, but you love my people.
Oh, I like you. I love you too.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. Comic relief again. So I know your heart, and I appreciate that. But we're coming. This is becoming very serious for Christians, and I think and that'll be part of mainly the main reason why I'm writing this next book is because of what you and I and Brendan and a few others have discussed repeatedly in the last few months is the final dividing factor is
Mm-hmm.
going to be Israel. And
Yep.
Brendan, in one of our exchanges recently, said Israel, and I love that. I have to steal it from him, but I'll give him credit. Israel is true north. I like that.
He did. It's so true. Well, listeners, I know you know this, Olivier, but I guess this is for all of your viewers. From 1932, this totally goes along with everything you're saying. 1932 to 1945, the self-identified Christians in Germany supported Hitler, supported the Nazi Party in concentration camps. Uh, but also, it split the German church, which we are seeing happen right now in the church in America. And at the urging of the Nazi government, supporters formed the German Christians movement in a step meant to unite all German Protestants under a single umbrella organization. This is what we see happening. And one of their purposes was to de Judaize Christianity. And they also de Judaized the New Testament, came up with something called the message of God. Doggone it, this is exactly what we see happening here right now. Exactly. We don't have an official movement, but it's going to happen. And it wasn't the Dietrich Bonhoeffers. That was a small section of those who identified with Christ, but the majority of Christians not only went along with it, but were actually a part of it, supporting concentration camps, de-Judaize Christianity, de-Judaize the New Testament. And so we see replacement theology, we see eschatology that is, quite frankly, is not biblical, and it has to de-Judaize the Bible. We see the
Yeah.
movements to say Jesus wasn't even Jewish, he was
Well, yeah,
Palestinian.
well, that's part of this Christian Palestinianism movement that our friend, what's his name, Paul Wilkinson is really has written a couple of really great books on that. But that's where we are. That's de-Judaizing the Bible, so so it's not so where is Israel? I mean. Where is this going? Where is Israel going? And I mean, should we just are Christians just supposed to just wait for the rapture and hope that it's going to happen soon, and so we're going to be gone? Or and a lot of people think that way. I never have, and but some people think that way. Uh, but I would not be surprised if a lot of Christians feel the way I do and the way you do. It's like, what can I do? It's too much.
Yeah.
So
Well,
how can we
uh,
encourage, as we kind of wrap this up here, how can we encourage Christians for such a time as this? Because I know you'll take a bullet for my people, and I will fight until the last day, even though I'm depressed and tired. I'll keep fighting because that's what I have to do. I have no other choice. I can I just can't pretend that I'm serving or obeying God if I don't do what He's asked me to do. And I fail in many other areas, and that one I'm going to do my best not to. But is there a way to encourage Christians to do something? And see, it's somebody calling me, but it's not you, so that's good. And I
that's
deserve that.
funny. You do deserve that. We'll just leave
Yes,
it at that.
because we'll leave it at that. Okay, so back to the topic. I see you picked up your Bible. So
Yeah.
how do we encourage Christians? We can't give up, friends. We the rapture could be in the middle of this program, could be tomorrow, could be right now. We can't give up, but we
Yeah.
need encouragement. So it usually comes from the Word. So Pastor Tom,
Amen. And I do have 2 chapters in my new book to help explain that so people can get it. But with that, I think of this where we're told in the New Testament to wait, thinking of the Lord's coming for us. That word wait is not a passive waiting. It's not just waiting on the rapture. It is a wait with expectation and preparedness. You've got to be prepared. You're not sitting by doing nothing. 2 Peter chapter 3, Peter says, therefore, since all these things will be, what manner of person ought you to be in holy conduct and godliness, looking for and hastening the coming of the day of God. Holy conduct and godliness is what we are supposed to be doing biblically, and hastening, looking for and hastening is pressing forward with the hope of the gospel of Jesus and getting the word out. Listen, this world is not our home. And for Christians who believe in Bible prophecy, especially us more than anybody else, since we believe we're going to be called home, this world is not our home. How much more we ought to be living for the kingdom of heaven right now. And in that, if understanding the scripture is going to involve supporting Israel. In fact, I think of this, these are the words of Jesus in Luke chapter 12, where Jesus says, let your waist be girded and your lamps burning. You yourselves be like men who wait for their master in preparedness, waiting and watching when he will return from the wedding, that when he comes and knocks, they may open to him immediately. Blessed are those servants whom the master, when he comes, will find watching. Assuredly, I say to you that he will gird himself and have them sit down to eat and will come and serve them. Jesus is promising a reward for those who are properly waiting, hastening the coming of day of God, watching, you're paying attention, and Israel is true north, as Brandon says. It is true north. So you see it
yes,
going on, you're going, oh wow, I've got to run harder and faster right now than ever before. And then Jesus says, most interesting thing. He says, and if he should come in the second watch or come in the third watch and find them so doing, blessed are those servants. And the second watch is 9 to midnight. Third watch is midnight to 3. Some people are saying, I've been watching, I've been waiting. He's not here. I'm ready to just kind of give up. Well, Jesus says, blessed are you if he didn't come in the second watch when you thought he was going to come. He doesn't come until the third watch when it's really dark and really difficult. There is a special reward for you because you believed in the master that he's going to come. So what do? We've got to be faithful to our calling. He's given us his word. Anybody who watches podcasts like this understands, no, okay, I believe in the Bible. Listen, now is not the time to give up. Now is the time to press forward and understand our home is in heaven. Jesus has prepared that
yeah,
place.
yeah,
Let us be found faithful. And I liken it to this. Paul likened the Christian life to running a race. And um, and when you watch people run in the Olympics or whatever, it's a long race. They come around the very last turn knowing the finish line is next. The one thing every single runner never does, including the one that knows they're going to finish last, every single one of them, instead of sitting down and going, I'm not even going to finish well, I'll just sit here. Every single one of them runs faster in the home stretch once they see the finish line than they ever did during the entire rest of the race. They see it
Great.
coming, they run harder, they run faster. Friends, we see it, us more than anybody else on the planet. Let us be faithful to run as hard and fast as we can, but we understand we've got the hope of the Lord Jesus Christ. We have the gospel of peace, and people need to know that Jesus saves. He's coming again, but he came the first time that we would be forgiven of our sins. And in the meantime, Israel is true north.
Amen. Amen. Everything you just said, I'm thinking of two words: convergence and urgency. There is a convergence of events right now that we've been seeing for the last couple of years, really. And that convergence of events should lead Christians, like you just said, to understand the urgency of sharing the message that you very clearly explained. So I agree with you. It's hard, and it's not gonna get any easier. And you live in California, so it's probably going to get harder for you than for me before. But who knows? But what, you say something?
Yeah, because I watch what's going on in Texas, and man, they are really trying to cram Islam down your throats in Texas. I was at
I
a
know.
store up in the desert just the other day, and there's a Haredi in there. And I just spoke to him a little bit of Hebrew that I know. He was all excited. So we had a great conversation. And I said, "Are you experiencing much persecution?" He goes, there's not much out here," which it's out the Palm Desert area.
Right.
And there's a lot of Jews, a large Jewish community out there as there is in LA. In California, for some reason, there's not as much of that anti-Semitism as there is in other parts of the country. But I find it interesting because I do watch Texas.
Texas, yeah, not too far from us in McKinney. They're like opening mosques like 7-Elevens. I mean, they're everywhere. It's a very interesting.
Really?
Oh
In
yeah,
McKinney.
yeah.
Well,
It's
the Israel guys had to, they ended up having to cancel their conference,
right.
you know?
Yeah, it was a big deal. They're gonna do it again, but they haven't. I signed up, but I don't know when and I don't know where. It's gonna be in Texas, and I don't have the dates yet. And so it's very interesting. They had people sign up in advance to see how many people they would get that would come. And I was not going to go to the first one because the dates didn't work for me.
Yeah.
But this one I will go, and they're probably trying to figure out what kind of venue do we need to get. But yeah, there was a lot of pushback, a lot of threats. And then they even got a church that offered to host them, and the church had to say no after a while because they got threats too. So it's pretty bad. And Texas, I know,
Yeah.
but we need to keep pushing. We need to. It's not over until he comes to get us, and
Amen.
and he's coming. He's coming to get us. And I tell you what, when I became a believer, we'll wrap it up with this final thought, I guess. When I became a believer in 1983, first of all, that reminds me of when Ellen, my wife of today of 42 years, she led me to the Lord. And I told her, okay, you know what, that sounds good, but I will never, ever, don't expect me to become a Jesus freak. Hello. So that ship sailed. But when I became a believer in back in those days, I didn't think, I thought I'd live to be, probably 75, 80, whatever. But I never thought when I started reading my Bible that I would get to live through what we're living right now, it's not even over. And I just never thought it would get that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the other day I was looking at some of the stats from the ADL, and I've mentioned that in another podcast. The two prophecies that I think we're definitely walking through right now is the return of the Jews in unbelief, Zechariah 36. Ezekiel 36, as you mentioned earlier in the podcast. And then the other one is Zechariah 12:3. And Zechariah 12:3 is the whole world is going to go against the Jews. And that includes America, friends. And right now, according to the ADL, 46% of the whole world harbors some kind of hatred against Jewish people. 46,
Wow.
46%.
46%.
So here is a sobering thought for you, Tom. We are halfway through the fulfillment of Zechariah 12:3.
Wow.
Think about that.
And then the rapture takes place, and the dynamic, and it's only increasing every day. And it's absolutely horrific. I mean, I'm not even Jewish, and I look and go, my stomach turns when I see things. At night, I wake up and just think, I cannot believe it. I will say this too, when going back to when I first met you, then we started doing recordings together, and I did not think, because the things you were talking about, we would actually live to see this.
Right.
I thought, no, these are things that are going to happen after the rapture. No, we are witnessing it. And I believe for us in the church, we are being challenged right now. What side, where are you? Where I think also, Olivier, that God is raising up his Gideon's army. And I want to be faithful to be on God's army in that sense during these days.
Well, Tom, me too. That's what I want to do. I want to keep fighting. If you're watching this program, you want to keep fighting. You want to stay connected with us at Shalom and Messiah. You want to, because we're gonna continue to equip you and encourage you the best we can, and sometimes challenge you. Where can people find you, Tom? I'll put all the stuff in the description, but where are you?
The easiest way is hopeforourtimes.com. That's the easiest way. My YouTube, all my Instagram, Roku, everything is the same with my name, but hopeforourtimes.com, and you see different places to connect there.
Okay, I'll put that in the description. By the way, this is a record. I got 4 phone calls during this program.
Somebody's wanting me off.
If I believed in karma, I would say this is karma, because
And I didn't even.
for the we'll finish with this little anecdote. I used to call Tom to talk to him to ask about something, and I used to do FaceTime, and FaceTime will ring no matter what. we found out the hard way, and I would always, not by choice, not knowingly, I would always call him in the middle of a program.
A bit of a live stream, not just a program, a live stream. And Olivier's face would pop up in the middle of my laptop. I go, oh.
So this is Christian karma, if it existed. That is just, we don't believe in karma, but this is funny. Well, Tom, thank you for coming today. I know you're very busy. I am looking forward to seeing you in about a little over a month and a half in Rockwell, Texas. This is going to be a great conference. We're going to have an incredible time. We're going to make new friends, and we're going to reconnect with other people, and it's going to be great. So thank you for coming to Texas in September. Again, what date? September 19th?
September 19th and 20th. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And then I'm going to run into you in Israel in October. It's going to be fun too.
That's right. And any of you, going to Israel either with Tom or with us in October, we'll figure out a way to connect. Or I mean, Israel is not a big country. We know that, and you always meet people when you go there. So that's going to be good. For the conference, by the way, friends. Tom was also going to speak at all 3 services at Ridgeview Church in Rockwell, where the conference will take place. So if you are in the area and you cannot come to the conference, or you're just doing live stream, you want to come to service the next day on Sunday morning, 8:30, 10, and 11:30, to hear Pastor Tom deliver the message. That's going to be a great time. Friends, thank you for watching. You know where to stay connected, shalomandmessiah.com. Tom, we'll have you again soon. Until then, to all our friends, shalom and be blessed.